States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. First item of business is approval of the Board of Aldermen's January 5th, 2023 business session minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, public comments.
All right, Tony Miles, 230 South Central.
Where?
Over there. I wanted to come to you all tonight on behalf of the Buckner Music Fest. Never heard of that, it was brand new, just made it up. But what we would like to do, there's some business owners that have gotten together. We want to do a all-day concert, May 29th. We have talked with the other business owners and they're all open to it, behind it, can't wait. We would like to see if it would be possible to shut down Main Street. We'll fence it off. We'll have the 6-foot fences put around it. One way in, 4 emergency exits, have security there, whether we use Buckner off duty, or other agencies off duty, whatever's available at that time. Sure. Gonna have a bandstand down at this end. The main reason for fencing it off is, one, to be able to control people coming in so we can sell wristbands to get in, and we want to have the whole area a beer garden. That way they can drink and listen to music, and just like you would at any music fest or concert type deal. So we've been talking about it for quite a while, and we've decided this is the year that we're going to do it. And it's something that we would like to do 2 or 3 times a year. We're going to do the first one, keep it really controlled, not over market it and oversell it, but really keep a grip on it. See if we can't make it run really smooth and then build it up from there. I've already talked to some places here in town about parking. So we'll park vehicles at the church, the Masonic Lodge, the park board, I've talked to them, and then we'll have a shuttle bus running back and forth, the whole day. But it's something that'd be going on from like 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. The good thing is,
Sunday?
That's a Monday. Yes, it's Sunday is the 29th, isn't it?
Memorial Day is the 29th.
Oh, it's Memorial Day.
I'm sorry, it's a Sunday, yes, Memorial Weekend.
Okay.
Sunday, Memorial Weekend. With Monday being a holiday, 9 o'clock, I think is plenty early to be shutting down for something like that.
But
But
City Hall's closed.
Right.
Most of them, except for the laundromat, are closed.
Right. But I think it could be a good thing for the community and something good. It will pull people in from out of town. We're wanting this to be, 600 to 800 people at that gathering. And talking to the fire department, if we put up the fence, basically this side of the laundromat and going down, that would accommodate like 1,800 people. And it's gonna be tickets. We're gonna sell tickets, so it cannot be oversold. We can't, if something crazy would happen, we're only gonna sell X amount of tickets, so.
Are the proceeds going to anything particular, or is it just?
Private. It's a private organization doing it. We'll pay for all the insurance. We'll pay to do all of it. It is for profit. I mean, it's not a not-for-profit, but there will be donated money to different areas. This is, again, I just came to you all tonight. I just talked to the business owners recently, and there will be money going back into the community, because if we have some of the other, either fairs and festival or park board or whatever helping, they're gonna get paid for that, to their not-for-profits.
Mr. Miles, did you say that you're gonna hire security and police?
Police, not security, it'll be police. It'll all be commissioned
Are
officers.
we staffed well enough to have extra police for that?
At this particular moment, no, but by the time that happens, we do have right now 2 more officers coming on, so.
And it would probably require more than that anyway, which I would reach out to Blue Springs, and their off duties can come down and fill in right beside you, and that's something we'll talk about. The main thing, I wanted to get the blessing from you guys so we can go forward, and then our logistics of it will be put together and approved by you guys, in the future too. But I want it to be police officers. There won't be any over-serving. If somebody comes up and they've had too much, we're gonna offer them a free bottle of water, go take it easy for a little bit. If there's any problems, they're gonna be asked to leave. It's gonna be just a real simple deal. It's not, yeah. No, we want it to be something that we can do repeatedly, not a one and done, so. But if we could have some discussion about that, input, pros and cons, you know, and it doesn't have to be right this minute. I just want to know that we can go forward so I can start promoting this. We've got 4 months right now, basically, to kind of push this out. And
I don't know the answer. The only question I would have is just making sure that whatever, I don't think we even have any ordinances probably around this, but just making sure that we, if there's any permitting required or whatever, that we're running the traps on. I mean, I don't have
Yep.
my gut is sure.
I think the time before that we talked about this in the past, you all could approve the beer garden. That has to be done through the state liquor license, you know, to be able to do that. But you all can approve that. With your approval, we can get the license from liquor control to be able to have Main Street as a beer garden, just like we used to do with the beer garden, you know. And we've had a couple of them, you know, the past couple of years, and no problems, and it's went really well.
Yeah, I think on those, some of it we just probably need to get the written request,
Yep.
so that it's kind of
That'll work.
hard and fast, but.
Do we need the written, yeah, it's fine from all the business owners?
We can. That's not
Probably
what
would be, yeah, it's worth doing, but I think most of them are gonna be closed if it's a Sunday.
Right.
That's the good
They
thing.
open up
Well,
and capture the business.
they're going to. We're gonna have pizza by the slice, we're gonna have drinks, we're gonna have, you know, the businesses will open that day. But the reason we did it that day is so it would not affect regular business.
So the beer garden's from where to where?
It's gonna be the whole street. It's gonna be from the laundromat to the corner of my building
It's like
down
you
there.
haven't had at their festival, you can buy it and walk around with it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fenced in. You're not gonna be able to enter from that end. It will be
And what
fenced
kind of
in.
container is the alcohol gonna be served in?
Probably cups, because most of it's gonna be either draw or it will be the big aluminum cans.
Okay, because I'm thinking glass windows and.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, we won't have any glass bottles, anything like that. I mean, it'll be atmosphere correct.
Yeah, if somebody gets mad, throws a plastic cup against a glass window, it's probably gonna be okay, so.
Yeah. And again, come up with some good pros and cons. Let's see if we can make it work and have a really good event like that. I think it'd be a good thing for us. And if I get consent tonight, just to move forward, not permission to do it. But the next thing I'm gonna do on social media, we're gonna reach out, what kind of music do you want? And then once we determine what kind of music, then who do you want? And we're wanting to use our local tribute bands. We've got 24 of them right here in Kansas City, rock and roll and country tribute bands that people really do travel around to see. So if we bring out 3 good acts, you know, I think that would pull some people down. We can make this a success.
You say shut it down at 9, is that what you said?
I think 9 is plenty late, you know, it's just before dark, you know, right there. And I think that would be, if we start at 2, and the first band starts at 3, and we let each band play for an hour and a half, and then the last band plays for 2 hours. By the time you do your setup in between, you're gonna burn up 6 hours right there, just doing that, so. That's what I present, and
As a concept, is there any opposed?
We don't need a motion for this one.
No, I just think, I mean, I'd say.
I think the next
pursue the
meeting-
concept and then
Right.
submit us, you know, written proposal.
I'll just give you some bullets, you know, and if anybody has input for it, get a hold of me. You know, and I'll have it ready for the next meeting, and we can all talk about that and move forward
Yeah,
with it.
because then we can make it an official agenda item and
Perfect.
everybody is aware in the community
Yep.
if they.
And we'll have insurance, you know, it'll be special event insurance, just like we do for anything like this, you know, it'll be covered. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public with comments? All right, moving on, committee reports. First up, admin and finance, January 1st, as I was reviewing where we've been over the past 6 years, I guess, on January 1st, we've made nice progress. In 2019, we only had $423,000 total.
How much more and what?
423 in 2019. This year on January 1st, we were 1.6 million. So the city you guys have done a nice job on working to kind of get our house back in order, so thank you. General fund was up $33,000 over where it was a year ago at the same time. We were at 137 this year. Water sewer was down a little, but we've been doing some work. Same with streets, we've done some work. And then the parks really has gone quite nicely. It's up $150,000 where it was a year ago at this time. Without the taxes hitting that and rolling in, so there's $379,000. Now there's today, or as of the 11th, there's $395,000, almost $400,000 in that account. So things are looking encouraging, and I have asked Joe to get Mr. Ross, the Bartlett and West guy, here for the next meeting, so we can kind of walk through what our next steps are on the water sewer system upgrading and repairing and maintaining, and then same with the streets. Jefferson Street we talked about last fall, and just seeing, the good news is oil prices are down about $20 a barrel from where they were in August, so maybe that'll push some asphalt pricing down and make it a little more feasible. But that's what I got from admin and finance. Public health and safety.
Oh, that's me. Sorry guys, it's my first one. So I didn't have a chance to prepare anything today. Chief usually does the numbers. He left earlier today because he's pretty sick. What I can tell you right now definitively that when I got here, our tickets were pretty much nil. Reports were the same. Just in the short time I've been here, I can't give you an exact number because again, the chief normally does this. But our tickets are up, our reports are up. And shortly before I got here today, I was working a burglary. So you know, we're out there getting it done now. So as far as staffing goes, I know we have 2 officers coming on. So we're in the process of onboarding them. We're just working on backgrounds and the testing portion of the hiring process. So here pretty soon we're going to be back up to full staff and running at 100 miles an hour. So if there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer. But like I said, Chief usually does this and kind of threw me to the wolves. Not his fault, but you know he left early sick. So yes, sir.
I understand we lost one officer recently, and we picked up a part-timer.
Correct. Yes, correct. We did lose an officer. Well, I would say within the next week and a half. We do have another part-timer coming on. It's a female officer. She's coming from Green Valley. She's got a couple of years experience, so we look forward to getting her over here and using that experience.
Are we, just one question, are we looking at still recruiting? I know you said we have 2 new officers coming in. Is one of those officers like out of the academy or just transfers out of thing?
No,
Can you say?
no, not at this point. These 2 particular officers are not, fresh out of the academy. The one I just mentioned, she's got a couple of years. We've got another guy coming to us. He's got roughly 6 years. So we're bringing on some experience. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing somebody out of the academy. Just at this point, we haven't had anybody that I know of come forth.
On the academy, our previous administration was supposed to be doing contract work to, they're supposed to, if we pay for, XYZ, they give 3 years of service. Is that something you guys are looking at doing again?
I have not heard any talk about that. This is sheerly my opinion. I think we should do that, but I haven't heard any definitive yay or nay at this point.
I asked that same question to the chief, and he was not opposed to doing that, so he thought it was a good idea.
Any other questions? Like I said, I'll do my best here, but.
If nothing, park board?
We are starting to put together the water park. I'll let Joe kind of explain the first step that we're doing here. He's getting ready to do an ad.
Yeah, I worked on this week doing RFQs for engineering services and design, and then for construction management, because we're going to break it up in 2 phases. I got the ads getting ready to be placed in the Oak Grove Focus on Oak Grove, and then the Odessa Band, I think it's called.
Or the Odessa.
The Odessa, and so that ads will actually start running on Wednesday. It's only a weekly publication, so it'll be every Wednesday for the next 3 sessions. And then I got the proposals are due to my office by February the 13th. And then we'll sit down, we'll get a board together, probably me, Raquel, and a couple of people to go do the applicants and kind of pick the best ones. And hopefully the first meeting after that, bring it to you guys for approval. But according to our attorneys, we had to break it down. We can't do a design build, which is what we originally wanted to do. We got to break it down and separate them.
That's what was gonna be my question, why the 2 phases, but you understand.
Yeah. So that's coming in the near future. And hopefully we can get started first day in the spring of, so they'll have it good, hopefully get it completed by May. It's going to depend on getting a lot of features in, trucking and all that.
Sweet. This is not a picnic. If we run that weekly for 3 weeks, is that gonna give them time to get the proposal?
Yeah,
by the
because
13th?
as of Wednesday, February the 13th, when the proposal is done, it's 20 days.
Okay.
And I asked Jim Ross about that. He said typically 14 is kind of the minimum and 21 is the maximum that you should allow. So I just wanted to get it, originally I was gonna do it on Tuesday the 14th. I thought, well, let's do it on Monday. That way I got to make it a whole week that I can get through. We can get through the evaluation process and bring it to you guys. So it'll be 20 days from the first time it's publication.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you. Planning and zoning?
That's
We do have an agenda item later on.
I know, I'm like, Mr. Miles had presented a building proposal of changing the zoning to multi-housing on a current lot that he owns on 108?
108.
108,
Yeah.
North Hudson.
North Hudson.
And the committee as a whole had approved that to be brought before the board. And it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
You got a plan on a remodel, Tony?
I'm sorry?
You plan on doing a remodel, or you?
No. Do you want me to tell them about it now?
No, we'll
Okay.
when we get to this. Very good. Next, Public Works.
So I know a lot of us have been wondering about the street signs. We, first off, let me introduce the new employee. This is Olivia Hacker. She's the newest one of us all. Me and Olivia have been going around looking at street signs, the ones that need to be repaired. We got some out there at the wastewater treatment plant, but we don't have them all. So we have them on order. As soon as they get in, we're gonna get them up as quick as we can. I know some of y'all have a picture of a generator in front of you. That's the new generator. It was delivered to us on Monday. Larkins is gonna come down and help us move it to where it exactly needs to be. And then Tuesday, MFA is gonna come down and put the diesel fuel back in for us. And we also have been slowly but surely getting stuff ready for spring and summer. So we won't have a headache at the end of it. We just want to get everything squared away before it is a disaster for all of us.
When you're talking about the signs, I was coming eastbound on 24, and since they finished the construction out there, the city limit sign used to have, I think, a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign on there, but that's missing. It just says 25 miles an hour except where posted. So I don't know what that does to us from a police standpoint if we were trying to enforce that. I don't know what the deal is, and I don't think there was, and there used to be a step down like 65, 45, 35, and it just goes from 65 to the city limit sign.
Yeah, over here too.
Yeah, this is, eastbound 24 on, just when you're at the city limit.
I have JD contact MoDOT and we'll see what those
Okay,
signs.
yeah, I wasn't sure if that was us or MoDOT.
It'll be MoDOT.
But you can see the places where it's supposed to hook up, and there's no sign there.
I'll got that down.
After 25 years and my truck just does it on.
And then, I'd like to talk about this real quick.
Sure.
As part of this new generator, we got give you a little bit of background. We hired the power electric to come out and they charged us $1,000. That $1,000 was to disconnect the old generator and reconnect a new generator. As part of that process, we had to get a hold of Energy to really schedule with them to come out and disconnect the power and then reconnect it. During that process, they sent out one of their design engineers to look at it. Before they get approval, they're gonna make us do some major upgrades. The plant was built in the 80s, the generator, 84.
Or well, no, it was built in 79 to 80. I started in 84, so 79.
So when they came out to do the field inspection, they'll make us do several upgrades. One of them is some disconnects, because right now, if there's a fire in the building, the firefighters will literally have to go inside the building, open up a panel that's all screwed up, and to kill the power. So as part of that upgrade, Empire Electric is asking for $18,860.
And so we'll need to, we need to have that in somewhere as a, I mean, this is information right now, or is there, I don't think, is there an action item on?
No, I just got this today, so if you
How soon
can
do you need
do
the
it now during discussion, you can vote on it now.
Okay.
It's whatever you want to do, Joe.
Need to amend the agenda then?
Yeah, well, I don't know, it might make sense to, yes.
Motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll make this the first of the new business.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
one other thing on the Public Works, I received a call last night about ponding over by the senior citizen complex over there on Jefferson. And I contacted the maintenance, and I think they looked into it, found the problem.
Yes, we got the problem. It was a bunch of leaves down in the drain itself, and we took care of it.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Okay, so we'll put that to the first item on new business. And so we'll be back to that in a second. Fairs and festivals?
I'm gonna wait till February, but we do have a carnival already set. Our carnival guys coming back next year. We just confirmed that, so you'll have a contract soon.
Very good, thank you.
What about the stage?
Huh?
What about the stage?
Well, we're gonna talk about that in February. Phyllis is not here, so.
Well, that concludes committee reports. Next up, old business. Since Mr. Mauer's not here, I guess I will read bill number 23-03, ordinance number 1079, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Buckner, amending section 390.050 of the City of Buckner Municipal Code. And this was
This was a 2-year resolution.
I'm sorry?
The 2-year resolution.
Okay, yeah, when we voted last time, there was, on the UTV, ATV, it had a 1-year permit, but most everything we have is 2. This would just bring it into line with what the other stuff is.
Will there be an emblem or a sticker, so we speak, on something like that? How does one know?
Yes, we're designing a sticker as we speak. We just have to finish designing and get them ordered.
So we need an order to, motion to suspend the rules.
Okay.
Okay. Motion second. And do we need a roll call on that?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The second reading?
You didn't get to do second.
Okay,
Get
okay.
approval.
And is there a motion for the second reading?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bill number 2302, ordinance of number 1079, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Buckner, Missouri, amending section 390.050 of the City of Buckner, Missouri Municipal Code.
Move to approve.
And is there a second?
Second.
Now Joe gets to do his thing.
All right. Alderman Butts.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Ross.
Aye.
Alderman Lockout.
Aye.
Alderman Lewis. Aye. No vote.
Sounds like it's passed. Now we need half as many stickers. Yeah. So new business, the first item is the quote from Empire Electric. And man, I know that sounds like a lot, that's not a terrible price. We just had some electrical work done at work and similar in our kitchen, and that was three-phase. I think it was about 200 amps, and that was, I think it was in the $16,000 range, so I'm sure it's not that too far off.
Also, as part of this, we got that the old existing fuel tank that we're getting ready to get rid of. It's a 1,000-gallon tank. Empire is willing to buy that from us for $1,000 and take $1,000 off if we want to sell it to them. And I went online and looked, and actually went on Pepperway, but that's where I was going to put it at. And a 1,000-gallon tank ranges from $890 to $1,100. So it's a fair price. So like that, it's probably 2 or separately, whatever.
I was saying, because are we having EPAs to check that, so this would take.
Yeah, so the new generator's got a built-in tank.
Yeah, in the base.
The base. So the old tank, once we get rid of it, it's going to, we're going to have to sell it anyway. So
Is this a not to exceed price? Is this a not to exceed price?
Yeah.
As long as we do it within the next 30 days?
Yeah.
How many warranties that come with, Joe, if anything,
Which on the
on the new?
generator? It's a 2-year, I think 1,000-hour warranty on it, on the generator itself.
Move to approve the quote to get this up and going.
And so on the tank.
Yeah, I was very nervous the other night when the power went out. All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All
I
right.
have one more question just in the time frame. How long do they think it'll take them to get it done? To get it all hooked up? And
Well, we got to get it scheduled with, everybody come out and drop the power and reconnect it. The scheduled outage is going to be about 4 hours, we're hoping, which should give us plenty of time. We won't experience the tank can hold that for 4 hours. It's probably going to be a couple weeks they got to get the parts in before they can actually get started. And I can get you, I'll also tell you, I'll start date. But this is the first place we got to get them, this is okay, and then
They want the money
set the
first.
schedule. But, yeah.
All right. Now, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding repairs of the 2 pumps at the wastewater treatment plant. I think Mr. Jones was going to talk to us about that.
Let's say the first estimate, the date of 1/4/23. This is the pump that they took out. And
Is this up here on Echo?
no, it is
Okay.
the one at the treatment plant itself. And the seals had gone out of the pump, so it was leaking wastewater into the wet well, or the dry well there. So they took that pump out, but they left the volute and everything in there because the other one was set up to turn the other direction. So when they put that in, they had to take the impeller, the old one, and put on the new one. And there's a gap. So that gap has to be replaced. But this pump is going into the new volute that we already had. They've got to take it apart, turn it over, get a new impeller and new wear rings, all the new seals. That's the $8,000. It has to be, we have to have that one fixed to put back in before we can have the volute and stuff that's in there now repaired as a backup. That the one that's in there, it's got the new motor on it. There's a gap of 1/4 of an inch in between the impeller and the volute. And that means that the pump is running at, 1/3 or half of its efficiency. So it needs to be fixed to get our pump back up to snuff. But then the other one has to be turned over, repaired, and worked on, so we'll have one as a backup. But they both, virtually the one that's out has to be fixed before we can fix the one that's in there. So that's right, and there's 2 of them. The one that's the 15,000, the volute that we have working right now has to be taken out, sandblasted, cleaned up, all the new rings and stuff put in it, and then the new pump fit to it to make sure that it all fits right. And then we would be back to the same condition we were at before this one started leaking. Any questions about either of the?
So one pump, there's two pumps down there, one's a back.
There's two pumps down there.
Okay, and one of them is not working at the right efficiency?
Yes.
Okay, and it's causing the issues, whatever they may be. And then we need to get the other one.
The one that's not in right now.
Needs to be fixed.
Has to be fixed before we can replace the one that's not working as efficiently.
That way we don't have anything.
Right, okay. And
So-
so
And
the
when it
15.
fails, we got what, 4 hours or something before?
Well, if the one fails, it's not working very well, we're down to one pump. And that will handle dry weather we're having right now. 2 days ago, we had, it went from 180,000 to 300,000 in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And now it went back down again shortly after the big rain, and then the sloughed off. The flow changed dramatically. But I don't want to run with just one pump.
No, I agree.
So
I
we
don't like
need,
playing without a net.
we need to get the one that's out fixed, put it in, and then have the other one fixed. And the second pump, the one for the 15,000, it virtually has the 2 service trips in it. So the first one doesn't have the service trips in the bid.
This, for some color, we currently have about $139,000 in the water sewer fund. Looks like the total, and that's gonna be a shade over 24,000 to do the repairs. As Mr. Jones points out, a lot of rain and no pump leads to big trouble.
A lot of buckets.
Yeah, so.
Is there something we can do about all that rainwater going into our sewer?
That's probably the idea.
That is what Jim Ross and them are finding out. They've got these flow meters in that are supposed to tell us, where the biggest leaks are coming from, how fast it goes up, how slow or fast it goes down.
When was the last time we had these rebuilt?
We had one of them rebuilt 2 years ago. Now, the engineers have proposed that we take both of these in-ground or dry well pumps out and put in submersibles. It will take changing all the control panels and everything to do that. And how much that costs, I don't know, but we're looking at a dry well that's 20-some years old and has a lot of rust down in it.
Wasn't that in Bartlett's long-term proposal?
Yeah.
That's one where we get the trenches and the burn pit or whatever it is. So hopefully the second, if we can make sure Jim, maybe he can come prepared to talk about that as well.
At this point, we don't have a lot of choice.
I guess right now you got 2 choices, you do 1 or 2, but if you do 1, you haven't really done anything.
Yeah, you have done both.
Motion to approve both of these estimates for the wastewater pumps.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, what was not included in that bid?
No, the second bid had the round trips for both of them.
Oh, okay.
So
And don't come with a ticket, much of a warranty, probably.
I think that once they fix them, you've got a year warranty.
Year,
that Wilson?
1 year.
Huh?
They do or they do not?
They'll have a 1-year
They will?
warranty.
Call question?
Very good. Is there a motion to approve? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, let's see, next up, bill number 2304, ordinance number 1080, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Buckner, Missouri, amending section 210.920 of the City of Buckner, Missouri Municipal Code. That was last time we were talking about the officers being able to do target shooting, and there was some question whether or not our ordinance precluded them. This cleans up and makes clear that law enforcement can discharge their weapons in the city limits. Otherwise, I don't think there was any changes to the ordinance. And so we would need a motion to suspend.
Motion suspended.
Motion to suspend.
Would you like to be the second?
I'll be the second.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. You got seniority.
All in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Second reading. Do we need a motion for second reading? That was it. Okay, there. Bill number 2304, ordinance number 1080, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Buckner, Missouri, amending section 210.920 of the City of Buckner, Missouri Municipal Code. Move to approve.
Second. You seconded.
Doesn't matter.
Mr. Ross, give his name in a few minutes there for him. Let him run that
Okay.
money. Yeah.
All right. Alderman Butts.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Ross.
Aye.
Alderman Rucker.
Aye.
Alderman Dolce.
Aye.
Alderman Crowley.
Okay. Sounds like now our officers can train in the city limits and nobody will be upset.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody do.
All right, next up, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the request for rezone of 108 North Hudson. I would like to preface this with, there's a specific process, so we are not rezoning this tonight because there has to be postcards sent out and a public hearing and a bunch of other stuff. This is just, I think, to help Mr. Miles assess the feasibility and kind of where the land, what the lay of the land is. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's.
Nope, that's it. We've got a blighted house down there that we're gonna tear down, and to do that, I would like to put in multifamily. It's gonna be upper end multifamily. They're gonna be approximately 700 square foot houses. And on the lot, it looks like that we could do 12, but I'm leaning more towards the 8 number. And I'm gonna set them up at a U shape where it has a courtyard in the middle. It's gonna be all maintained. You know, I'll take care of all the maintenance and everything. It won't be like they're mowing their own yard or anything like that. It'll be completely maintenance-free for them. I am targeting older people, retired people for them. So I went around and talked to all the neighbors. We got to talk to everybody within 121 feet of 185. Okay, I went 200. So we've talked to all the neighbors. All the neighbors are on board with it. They're good with it. We still have to send out the postcards and do a public hearing for it. But I would like to know that, again, I have your all's consent for that. You all are on board with it, so we can go forward and get that done, because it's something that I'm gonna move on fairly rapid.
Tony?
Yes.
What type of structure are these gonna be? Is it gonna be one complex, or is it going to be individual?
The back one is gonna be 4. Whenever you pull up to the
Fourplex.
looking at it, it'll be a 4-plex across the back. Then it'll be either 2 standalones, or 2 standalones, or 2 duplexes, you know.
I
So
see.
it'll either be a 4-plex or 2 duplexes, or a 4-plex and 4 singles. And that's gonna, a little bit of that is gonna hinge on if I do wanna add some more to it later. But right now, that's not the intent.
Is that a double lot right there?
It's not, it is a big lot. It's an oversized lot. And by doing it, it will allow, by code, our setbacks are 8 inches from the property line. That's not what I'm doing. I want the back of the properties to be 12 foot in, and then the 4-plex on the back will be 15 foot in, where there's plenty of room for maintenance, mowing, you know, future repairs, whatever. But I do want to hold it out as far as I can, because I want the middle to have a courtyard, fountain area. You know, I want it to be a nice complex, because it is going to be on the upper end of rent for a little 1-bedroom. And I've already got one like that. I've proved that people will pay that upper end for a nice place, so.
The only question I see, because you're looking at doing 8 units.
Yeah.
When I look through the ordinance, under section 5, the intensity of use, the way I read this, unless I'm reading it wrong, and it could be, you know, it talks about you need 8,000 square feet for a single dwelling, 10,000 for a multifamily. And then it says basically that 10,000 square feet will get you 2 units. Anything above 2 units is 2,000 more square feet per unit. So there's not enough square feet to do 8.
We'll have to see what the square footage is and then see what we can do with that.
Because to do 8, you need 22,000 square feet, and there's 15,000 square feet on that lot.
Okay, there's 15 there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Per the Jackson County
Yeah.
parcel viewer that you put on there.
Right, okay.
So
Well,
you-
what does,
The numbers might have to drop, but that's the only thing I'll make you aware of, that I noticed unless.
and what does, where is that number derived from? It just from ordinance? Is that something that we can change in the ordinance to make that work?
That, I mean, that would be a board,
I'd say, I mean, I know that it comes down to, again, making sure there's not street parking and.
Yeah.
you know,
And we have off-street parking.
And what have you, so if you start building, you know,
Right.
if you build a giant house that fills your whole lot,
Yeah.
then you don't have room
Right.
for the people to park,
No.
so.
With 8 of them, there'd be off-street parking for that.
But, yeah, I mean, I know that, and you're the zoning guy now, back a million years ago, when I did that, I know they were very much not real hip to spot zoning. I will say that I don't feel like we'd be doing spot zoning from the standpoint of there are multifamily,
Right.
high density nearby, but when, to revise the ordinance like that, I don't know, because then if Mr. Camper comes back and says, well, then I'm gonna do
Right.
this too, we're gonna be whipsawing back and forth on ordinance, and that's probably not
Definitely.
gonna have good optics.
Yeah.
The other question I had was on the, I guess, the water line and stuff there is good enough that we'd have 8 taps there, or 10, or however many.
With it being all on, it would stay one parcel, they would not be able to be sold off individual. I was wanting to come in with one water line, and then, you know, the owner would cover the water each month, that would be included.
I'm just concerned from the standpoint of what we got into with the trailer park out here.
Right.
That, you know, you're
Yeah.
doing great, but someday you get hit by a bus and Raquel decides she never liked those damn things to begin with. And then now we got people that don't have water, we're fighting over how to get the water versus the people who are actually.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to be split off like that. Water would have to come from the property owner, you know, as one unit, just like you do the apartments. That's the apartments that we have all over town. That's how they are. They have 1 meter going to them, and an 1.5-inch line is actually a 1-inch line is sustaining 42 apartments at Little Village. They have 2 meters but 1 line. They've got a very unique setup, but it is 1 line that's sustaining 42 units off of that. So to sustain 8, you know, off of a 1-inch line, that would not be a problem at all.
I'm saying I have no idea what the
Yeah.
regulations around that are, I just know.
What size of line is that there? Is that a 6?
The sewer line is a 6.
The water.
The water line going down Hudson, I believe, I thought that was only a 2-inch.
I think those 4.
It's 4? Okay, well, that's,
Yeah, we make a service connection or a tap on it for a 2-inch line going
Right.
into that lot.
and I'd only need a 1-inch coming off. I mean, it's supply, you know, 8, that would, because like I say, Little Village with 42 units, they're on a 1-inch line down there. That's the one we just repaired last month. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
So the second question would be, what do we need to do? Is that the ordinance that we would have to go by, that square footage per unit?
I would think yes,
Is
because
that-
I think it derives from probably NFPA. I don't
Okay.
know that for sure,
Right.
that would be my thought.
and again, it might be good for other eyes to get on it and make sure I'm seeing it correctly.
Definitely.
Nobody else sees it.
Yep.
Okay.
But,
Nope,
yeah.
I appreciate the insight.
What
Yeah.
section was that again?
5, intensity of use, on page 2 of that ordinance.
And again, obviously, until you actually see the proposal and you hear from the community, we can't say that go forth or not, but I don't think there's any serious resistance to rezoning the property. You know, just have to conform to the regulations around the designated zone.
I think it'll bring up the property values of the houses around it too.
Yeah. And it is in an area that already has multifamily, you know, that's kind of a good thing too. We've got,
Is that like pretty much right across the street?
it's right across the street from the 8 plexes and that little
Yeah.
3 unit, and it's over a lot from the senior housing, you know, the 24 units that are there.
It's definitely an upgrade from what's there.
Yeah, it's gonna help a lot. We've been able to keep everybody out of the house from living in it other than the birds and squirrels.
So, next up, elected officials comments. You look like you got.
Me? Well, might as well. Hey, I just, I mean, JD, you guys are doing a great job. I appreciate all your hard work and everything you guys do. I do want to just bring a concern on Central, and not because I live on Central, but we are getting, the road is degrading, as you know, and the potholes are getting bigger and bigger to the point asphalt's flying in people's yards, and it's just a wreck. And I know we can't replace it right now, I'm not asking you to, but could we do maybe some repairs on those bigger potholes so they don't get so large that it starts damaging vehicles whenever the weather permits? Yeah, I appreciate it.
I also noticed on Central when I was driving over there the other day, the same kind of problem. I have noticed in around town, we talked about it, about the potholes and stuff, they're getting up there, but I mean, if we have some nice weather, it probably wouldn't hurt to do something with them. And then, we talked about it in our little meeting the other day, what's the plans for the lights this?
Monday.
Monday? Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's depressing now.
I know.
And, Joe, when will the manhole risers be done? They're down on North Hudson.
I'll get a call from them. Oh, there's one more thing. There's a manhole that is broken into on, is it Washington down here? Like North Surplus? Yeah, that manhole is split in two. And I don't know how dangerous it is like that. I just walked down, so I just noticed it, but it's got a crack and it moves on both sides. So that probably needs to be repaired ASAP.
You mean the ring is broke? Not the manhole itself?
No, the manhole's broke.
The lid is?
The lid is, yes.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Well, right there by my container?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
And the ring, it was cracked at the.
Do we keep spare windows on laying around?
I'm sure you have not to get some.
I don't want to drive over and boy it.
We'll get on the That's right in the street.
Yep, it does, as long as they don't go through
All right, well, otherwise, I thank you all for your time this evening. We had a good constructive meeting. Thank you, and I take a motion.
So,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?